This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, all in one place, all on your terms, but more on them later. It's been a minute since we've done a Q&A, so let's do a Q&A. If Tudor or Omega didn't exist, what watch would you go for sub 5K budget? Oh, there are so many. I'm going to assume this is $5,000. So sub $5,000, we have Tag Heuer. I'd get the Aqua Racer or the Carrera Date, Breitling Chronomat, Longines, Frédéric Constant. You could even get some entry-level Cartier like the Cartier Tank Solar Beat, or even a Grand Seiko Elegance SBGW 23. For something a bit less mainstream, you could get an Oris, a Zin. I'd get the Zin U50, and of course, maybe a little something from Nomos. I just got back from the Nomos Forum, so they're in the forefront of my mind right now. Maybe a Club or a Tanganta. It depends on what style you're looking for, but sub £5,000 or $5,000 is a really fun area to play. How are Rolex so limited, and yet so many in circulation in the resale sites and grey market? Yeah, that's a good freaking question. I mean, modern Rolexes aren't that rare, but still the amount of people who want certain models outweighs the amount being made per year. So yeah, what is limited might be subject to demand. Of course, Rolex wants there to be a certain hype around their products. Of course, they want to be seen as desirable and hard to get. I think that's a part of what makes some models so mythical and so special when you, or if you, finally get one. Rolex Oyster Perpetual Celebration. Ooh, please. But yeah, I would say Rolex is quite limited in comparison to how many people want one. But I do think the tides are turning a wee bit. Maybe this is just me, but I'm finding myself less obsessed with Rolex and looking more into other things. Navitimer or Speedy? Both. They're so different, I feel like you could justify both. Two icons. The only slight advantage of the Navitimer is there are a lot more size and style options, but new Speedmaster First Omega in space is adding some more sizes for the Speedy. Come on! Your first mechanical watch and your last one. My first mechanical watch was the Nomos Tanganta Sport Hodinkee Limited Edition, and my last one is also a Nomos, the Nomos Tanganta Schlossgrün. This has only just come in the mail in the last couple weeks, and I am loving it. Next watch purchase, and does the wee one like watches? I've just recently made a very expensive watch purchase video, hopefully coming soon, so I can't even think of buying myself any more watches for at least a couple of years. Hopefully my next purchase is another big one, maybe a neo-vintage Alonga Unsona 1815, but that's still a ways off for me. As for the baby, I mean, his interests are pretty limited right now. He's only 3 months old. Outside of milk, he doesn't like many other things, but hopefully he's into watches one day. Hopefully inexpensive watches. Baltic stone dials, yay or nay? Big yay. I think they look amazing. I really hope stone dials have a big comeback. Beautifully done. I'd love to see one of these in person. Ooh, this next one is from my good friend Cull. He asks, is there a watch you would liquidate your entire collection for? I could see you wearing only a Patek 2499. Mine would be the 5270p salmon dial. Pfft, I could see me in a 2499. But I still couldn't afford one even if I liquidated my entire collection. Maybe if I offloaded the house, my entire savings, and all my watches? Maybe? I have watches that I really love and I can't really afford, but I still wouldn't liquidate everything for. Oh, I couldn't do it. It's too big of a hit. My mentality is more if money was right, and maybe if I had to sell just a few pieces, but I really love my collection as it is. But I do think I need to add a bit more precious metal to my life. Are we at the end of the current watch cycle? Seems like everyone's money is running dry. I feel like we're at the end of a very weird time. We're coming out of a very strange time. All at the same moment was COVID, a giant crypto boom, supply chain issues. All of this was happening all at one time. So all of a sudden people had, well, not everyone, but a lot of people had a bit more money, nowhere to go, holidays were canceled, nothing to do, and they were buying those treat yourself kind of items. Then watch secondary prices became insane. And now a lot of people are tightening their belts for various reasons. I don't think this affects real enthusiasts. This has more weeded out the speculation investment type people, which I ultimately prefer them being weeded out. I don't know if that makes me sound really elitist, but hobbies outside of watches. Life outside of watches? Heresy. Tissot or Citizen? Tissot all the way, baby! It's no shade against Citizen, I really like some of their watches. I just prefer more of the Tissot catalog. A good burger or a good pizza? A good pizza, and I'm not going to explain myself any further than that. Do you care about power reserve duration or accuracy per day when buying a watch? This is such an interesting question. No, not really. Like if I try on a watch and I love it, it's a bonus if the power reserve is up to snuff. I let factors like power reserve dictate how much money I'll spend on a watch, but it's not a deal breaker for me. It's not a deal breaker if the power reserve is a little bit lower. If a watch makes me feel like $1 million, that's my number one thing I'm looking for. Thinking about getting my fiance a Dumont for a wedding gift. How is it holding up? Amazing, amazing watch choice, amazing gift idea. I'll film some new B-roll right now and put it up here, but it's a fantastic choice, timeless, classy, and mine is holding up great. Where is the Black Bay 58? It is somewhere in the house. Hold on, I'm gonna go get it. Here it is. Yes, and I'm gonna put it on for the rest of this video. Oh no, I put some links in so my husband could wear it. I'm not going to wear it for the rest of this video because I don't feel like taking links out. So back to Tag Heuer. Tried on Mojave Desert. OMG, Brit. Right? The Mojave Desert is so good. I feel like it meets a very unique spot in any collection. Buy it. Buy it right now. Why is the watch world, all caps, obsessed with water resistance? Because we're silly people who like to pretend that we're more adventurous than we are, and we have a fantasy of being more adventurous and this person we want to be. So we try to buy watches to fulfill that spot within us. Hey! To be a little bit less jaded, I think we love the idea that a watch is capable of doing something, even if we aren't going to use it for that purpose. Like, I could get into saturation diving. If I did, I would have the perfect watch for it. I am almost certainly not going to start doing that. But if I did, I could document it on my beautiful website. And that is where today's fabulous video sponsor, Squarespace, comes in. That was a good one. I think that was either my best or worst transition. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Squarespace before this timer runs out. Okay, if you're doing anything online, you need a professional looking website, and this is what Squarespace does. Whether you're making content like me, maybe you own a brick and mortar business, maybe you're a private practice doctor. I don't know what you do, but Squarespace makes it easy to create a great aesthetic website. They have easy to use visual tools like their website templates. It's easy and intuitive to plug in your information. Need easier? They've got you. With Blueprint AI, you just write your site description in the prompt, choose a writing style, and bam, it is done for you. And it is still fully customizable, so you can change up anything to make it exactly how you want it to be. Put your own mustard on it. If you're selling stuff online, like how I should be selling merch and I need to stop being so lazy and actually make that happen, Squarespace Payments manages all your payments in one place and accepts alternative payment options like Klarna, Apple Pay, Afterpay, or ClearPay. How am I doing for time? Oh my gosh, we're about to run out. We're in this. I tried very hard to do this in 90 seconds, but that's okay. I've been using Squarespace long before they were a channel sponsor. I'll be using them long after, but hopefully they want to be channel sponsors forever. If this is sounding good to you, go to squarespace.com/BritPierce. Use my link in the description to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I really failed at doing that time. I feel kind of disappointed by that. I had a dream. I shot too far. What is the watch that you loved and was perfect until it was on your wrist? Me, Panerai Radiomir. I love this question, and it's a friendly reminder on why it's so important to try things on. The dimensions, everything could sound perfect, but still not be right on your wrist for whatever reason. For me, it was the Cartier Santos in medium, the one says Santos de Cartier, so the one with the bracelet. I had been stalking this watch for years. I really thought this was my dream Cartier until I tried it on. Rolex GMT and several Tudors now have Jubilees. Will more sport Rolexes follow? I really hope so. The Tudor models with the 5-link bracelet look fantastic, and it is so nice having that bracelet option. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The Jubilee might be the most comfortable bracelet I've ever worn. I'd love to see more watches to come with this option. I think it is more likely to see more Tudor 5-link bracelets coming through on Tudor models than Jubilees coming onto Rolex models. Do you own any watches you regret buying because they were disappointing once you had them? Oh, this is from my friend Edwin. No. Well, yes. And I've been such a hater of these. Only this Watch Blancpain Scuba 50. I'm so sorry for anyone who has one of these and loves them. I hated mine so much. I know there are probably people who love these, but man, this did not jive with me. Probably the only watch I regret buying. How did your husband build a relationship with Patek? This is always a tricky kind of question to answer. We can give our experience, of course, but individual boutiques and authorized dealers operate so differently, so there's no correct blanket answer. For us, our Patek authorized dealer is Barry's in York. We really built the relationship through being enthusiasts. We would go in there and talk watches as often as we could. My husband just was naturally able to share his love of Patek. He speaks Patek reference numbers like it's his mother tongue. English is his second language. Patek reference numbers is his first. He's loved Patek since the 90s, and it was always a brand he had been working up to. He never thought he would own a Patek. So it was back in 2017 or 2018, we were shopping at Barry's in York, and it just so happened the person we were talking to was the manager. We didn't realize it at the time. James and him had a really similar outlook, really similar Patek models that they loved, and that is just what started to build that relationship. I think if you genuinely love the catalog, like the entire catalog, or you can at least talk in depth about the brand and get talking with the right people, that relationship will build naturally. Bonus points if you speak Patek reference numbers. I wish I did, but if you do, it doesn't hurt. Now that time has passed, do you still feel the same about the KITH Tag Heuer collab? Yes, I still don't like it. Thoughts on Explorer 140mm or Santos Large for a wedding watch? For a wedding watch, the Santos. It just feels that little bit more dressy with the polishing on the case and Roman numerals. What are your thoughts on the Rolex Air-King? Okay. I am happy other people like the Air-King. It's never been one that's been for me. It's never been a Rolex model that spoke to me. But if it's a watch that you have and you love, all the power to you. We all have different tastes and different watches that we like. I feel like it is a weird mishmash as it is right now. If it was me going for a watch in the Rolex catalog, I would choose the Oyster Perpetual, Explorer, or Datejust all day, every day over an Air-King. I actually always forget that the Air-King exists. But watch tastes and preferences are highly personal, so don't let me get in the way of you loving your Air-King. Shout out, Air-King lovers, I will see you in the comments. People who hate Quartz have no reverence for watchmaking as a whole. Now that is a hot take. I don't disagree or agree. I think people on both sides are being reverent in their own way. I am also a Quartz lover and defender, and I really think it is misunderstood by people who have a strong stance against it. But people who hate Quartz would say they hate it because they have a reverence for watchmaking, because the Quartz crisis nearly destroyed traditional watchmaking. Quartz apologists like myself would say it is one of the most important innovations in watchmaking. It's made watches more attainable, and there are even different levels to quartz. Not all quartz is made the same. Would you sell Rolex Submariner for a Tudor Black Bay 54? This is a tough call. It all depends. It depends on how much you wear and love your Submariner, and if you've tried on the Black Bay 54, and if you love that watch. I've shared this before, but I personally chose a Tudor Black Bay over a Submariner For me and my unique needs, the size works better. I love the aluminum bezel. It works better for me. But try on the Black Bay 54. If you like it better, decide from there. Good news, if you take the Black Bay 54 over the Sub, you'll have a little bit of leftover money there. So you can maybe buy another watch. You can stick some money in the savings. Yeah. Most overrated watch you personally love? The AP Royal Oak. I don't want to love the Royal Oak. I feel like it's a banker guy's watch or something. But dang it, do I love the Royal Oak. It's so industrial and cool, and possibly one of the most beautiful bracelets ever. Isn't it time you get into vintage Rolex? It really is, and this is where I see my collection going. I feel like I've had fun with modern Rolex and modern watches in general, but vintage is calling me in. Vintage and neo-vintage. My next big obstacle is finding enough money to be into vintage Rolex. Worst Rolex model of all time? Oh, OC, you would ask this. Of all time, probably the Yacht Master II. Functionally great, aesthetically awful. Oh, okay. This one is a three-parter. Is Haas still your favorite F1 team? Yes. An exciting year ahead with Ollie Behrman joining the team. Do you have any watches you regret selling? Also, yes. My Nomos Tanganta Sport Limited Edition. I sold that watch to start this channel, to buy this camera, but I do regret selling it. I would love to rebuy that one day. Are there any watch collaborations you want to see in the future? Yes, so many. I don't even know where to start. To go back to my second love, F1, I would love to see Haas get a watch sponsorship. I've thrown out Zenith as being a good brand that they could partner together and maybe do some limited editions with that collaboration, a la IWC and Petronas. What's the average price of regular maintenance of automatic watches? Okay, this is an awesome question. It all depends on the brand, how many complications accompany this automatic watch, how much needs doing during the servicing, and if you choose to go through the brand or maybe a local watchmaker. I personally always go through the brand. I prefer the assurances that come with that. For a time-only automatic Rolex, I'd expect to pay £400 and up, whereas I'd expect to pay more for a Daytona since it has the chronograph function while still being an automatic watch. I'd be thinking £600 and up. Patek Philippe advertise their servicing costs, so for a mechanical self-winding, it is £1,000. So it's not a simple answer. It varies between brand and complication. I would expect to pay between £200 and £1,000 for a servicing, which is quite a large breadth, but there's no tidy answer for this. Now that much of the hype around watches has dissipated, how do you stay motivated to produce YouTube material? I find it so much easier to stay motivated the way it is right now. It is much less about secondary prices and hype and all that, and much more about the watches themselves. It's about watches again. And I prefer this 10 times out of 10. Why won't my AD sell me a GMT Master II? This is the worst. I really don't know. And there's so many answers that it could be. A GMT Master II is a harder Rolex to get. So it's really having spend history and a good relationship. And I know people don't like hearing about spend history, but with these harder to get models, it does often come down to that. It's watches people work up towards. But I don't know. Don't listen to me. My AD won't sell me a Celebration, despite me shamelessly asking for one. I just love it. I feel your pain. I hope you get the call soon. Have you ever had the urge to sell all your watches and start again, or just keep one or two? Yes, all the time. For me, I always think if I just sold everything and kept one or two, I would buy a sick house in the Rockies, just outright in cash. So good. It would probably be a better use of my limited money than continuing to buy watches I can barely afford, so... Okay, I've talked long enough. This is probably one of my longer videos. I love doing Q&As. I hope you guys like watching them. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see more videos like this. Don't forget to do all those sweet, juicy, delicious things to feed the YouTube algorithm gods. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, you need to change that. Get subscribed. Thank you once again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. And now, here's the fabulous, amazing Pope tier patrons who keep me in business. Hello, patrons. Most specifically, Pope tier patrons. But thank you to all the patrons. I've already said it. You guys truly keep me in business. You help keep this channel independent, which is awesome. Just thank you for everything you do. I hope you keep enjoying my content. And you guys are the best. Okay. Bye, guys.